everyone, Tutu Mora here with the Y, bringing you more tools to help you feel well in your body, mind, and spirit. So today we're going to be moving the spine and giving it some nice rotation and stretch. So I'll invite you to join me down here on the mat and we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm going to have you start with your feet about hip distance apart, and you're going to want to bring them a little bit away from your sit bones here. So let's start as we always do, just by taking a couple deep breaths here. Really letting that breath come all the way down into that low belly, really filling your whole torso. So let's take a minute and just bring that oxygen in deeply. Maybe this is the first time you've really let yourself have a deep breath today. So let yourself have it. Take this minute just to check in, slow down, arrive in your body. And as you're breathing, notice where you might be holding any tension. So your spine is kind of broken down into three different parts. You've got your cervical spine, which is the very top portion. You've got your thoracic spine, which is in the middle here, and then you've got your lumbar spine, which is the bottom portion. So let's bring the awareness up to the cervical spine. So taking a nice deep breath into kind of the base of the skull, the shoulders, neck, and jaw. Taking a nice deep breath into that area and just noticing where you might be holding any tension or tightness. You know, maybe you've been a little anxious, a little stressed, maybe you've been hunched over your computer all day. But either way, that can sort of accumulate as tension, especially in the shoulders and neck. And so now let's turn our awareness to the thoracic spine. So taking a nice deep breath, filling those lungs, filling the rib cage, almost like you're going to breathe into the back of your body. And notice where it might be difficult to take a deep breath. Where any tension or tightness is inhibiting you from breathing deeply. And now let's take that breath into the lower lumbar area. So taking that breath all the way down into the low belly, the pelvis, the hips, all the way down as if it could meet your tailbone. And noticing where there's tension or tightness there. Letting your breath swirl into all those little spaces and places that might be feeling a little stuck. And so with that little scan that we've taken of our body, let's start to get moving. Let's start to bring some rotation, some stretch, and some movement in here. So I'm going to have you start by bringing your arms together like so, almost like they're I Dream of Jeannie arms, plugging your arms into the shoulder sockets. And what we're going to do is almost as if that shoulder blade could wrap around your rib cage and lift your elbow up towards the ceiling. I'll show you what that'll look like. Almost like it's going to gently lift, sternum reaching for the mat behind you, and your weight is going to be placed on that shoulder that's resting on the mat. Your head can come with you as you rotate, and your pelvis is going to stay squarely on the mat. And then you're gonna let that shoulder descend. And we'll take that to the other side. So again, as if your shoulder blade could wrap around your rib cage to bring that elbow towards the ceiling. Sternum staying heavy and head following in that rotation. Just to rotate that spine a little bit, the pelvis staying stable and then resting back down. So let's take that again. Sternum heavy, shoulder blade wrapping around, almost like it's coming out, and then pushing that elbow up towards the ceiling, letting your head follow with that rotation. And noticing that you might be able to rotate a little bit more each time. Resting that shoulder back down, and now You're placing your weight in that shoulder as you bring the other one up, rotating sternum, staying heavy. And bring it back down. Let's take that one more time in each direction. You might notice that it's a little different range of motion through each side, which is totally normal. And you might notice that that range has opened up a little bit more as we've been moving. Okay, so resting those arms back down. Let's now glue the ankles and the knees together as if you've got one big leg. And you're gonna sink your weight into that right side of the pelvis. So as you do, your knees and your ankles are gonna follow, letting your ribcage remain flat on the mat. And you're gonna get a little spine twist in here as you sink that weight into the right side of the pelvis. So once you're here, taking a nice deep breath through that stretchy side. And then to come back to center, you're gonna sink your weight into that lifted side of the pelvis. Bringing it back to center. And now we're gonna take that over to the other side. So now sinking your weight into that left side of the pelvis, letting your knees and ankles join you, letting your ribcage remain flat and squarely on the mat. Let's now take a deep breath into this stretchy side. Bringing yourself back to center by sinking your weight into that lifted side of the pelvis. Pausing here, and now we're gonna add in the arms and a little rotation here at the cervical spine with the head. So, as you sink your weight into that right side of the pelvis, your left arm is gonna come up. So let's start to sway. So sinking that weight into the left side of the pelvis, or the right side of the pelvis. The left arm is gonna come up overhead, and you're gonna rotate your head as if you're gonna smell your armpit. Smell that left armpit. Take a nice deep breath, and I want you to feel as though the back of your armpit and your sit bone are reaching away from one another. So lengthening out that whole side of the torso and fill that space with your breath. And then let's come back to center. Switching sides and switching arms. So now we're sinking our weight into the left side of the pelvis as the right arm comes overhead. Head rotates to the right as if you're gonna smell that right armpit. Again, taking a second to let that right sit bone and right back of the armpit reach away from each other, lengthening that whole right side of the torso, filling that space with your breath. And bring everything back to center. So let's take that one more time. You can take this as slow as you want, taking your time, taking as many repetitions as feels good for your body. Nice deep breath into that stretchy side, and bringing yourself back to center, and we'll do that other side one more time. Again, lengthening and filling that space with your breath. Resting back down. You can separate those feet here again. Let's take another pelvic curl, which should feel a little different. Maybe a little bit more mobile. And you can hang out here as long as you'd like, relaxing and just feeling a little bit more connected to your body. But thank you so much for spending this time here, and I'll see you back next time on the Wise YouTube channel with more tips to help you feeling well in your body, mind, and spirits.